On today's episode, we're going to give our marinated takeaways from the Cincinnati game. We're also going to talk about the player and coaches' responses to the game and what's the state of Kansas City Chiefs football moving forward. Stick around, we're going to talk about it.
Welcome back, Chiefs Kingdom. We're a little bit more calm than we were yesterday. Still probably not feeling all too confident about what's going on with the Chiefs, but we are going to talk about our marinated takeaways from the game. Mike, now that you've had time to sit on it for a little while, think about it, and maybe get some of the emotions out of the way. What are you thinking about the game yesterday?
I think that the takeaway I have to have from this game is that it wasn't as doomsday as it felt in the moment. I want to say a lot of Bengals fans and trash talking went into the general hate and disgust. But other than that, the game, it wasn't as bad. I want to say the one thing that disappointed me about the entire game is something that you can't coach, and that is just being ready to play. It felt like a playoff environment game. Cincinnati was up for it, man. You could see it in their eyes. You could see it in their excitement. And I just didn't feel like the Chiefs matched that intensity. And that's the one thing that kind of scares me moving forward. It's like if we can't get up for these big games, what's going to happen when we get to these big games? You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think I never thought it was like a doomsday. We have to win this game because of the outlook of the season or anything like that. I just
right,
wanted to win the game just because they've been a thorn in our side. Their fans are annoying. And it's just one of those things. It's like, can we just get over this stupid hump? Like, we're obviously a good enough team to do this. Why are you not doing it? Like, just imagine, losing to a team that you're better than, no matter how you slice it, and you just keep repeatedly losing to them. That's an issue, and it makes you wonder what's the problem here. And I think you hit the nail on the head with it. Our guys just were not ready. They did not match that intensity. They didn't look like they wanted to be there. They didn't look like they had much passion, like they really cared that much. Maybe it just came off that way to the viewer, but that is definitely the vibe that was out there because it did not look like they were playing to win like the Bengals were.
right. And so we said we're going to get into Andy and Patrick's press conferences. Mahomes kind of touched on that a little bit. He said the reason they haven't been able to beat the Bengals is that in key situations, they're not executing as well as Cincinnati. Is he admitting that Cincinnati's coaches are prepping them better than our own coaching staff? Or is he saying that their players are better than our players? What's he trying to say? Because to me, it feels like he's trying to say, hey, we wasn't ready to execute when it counted. That, just like we said, falls squarely on the coaching staff. And I mean, we said that Andy Reid is the best coach in the game, and against the Bengals, he got out coached by a second year guy. Is that what they're trying to say there?
Yeah, I don't know. You could take it a couple different ways. You could take it the way you took it, or you could take it as we know we're better than them. We just did not execute. Like we just fell flat. Maybe he's flat out saying, we weren't executing the way that we're supposed to. We weren't ready for the game. I mean, you can spin it however you want, I guess. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, that's just a standard answer that you're going to get. Like the same way with Andy Reid. Andy Reid says every time that we lose a game that, hey, it's just something that happens. You lose in this league, and we'll learn from it, and we'll be better next time. And the sad thing is, though, is he said that after all three Bengals losses, but yet it's the same result. So how much are they actually learning, or is this just a routine line that we throw out there to make everybody feel better?
Right. So I posted that on Twitter today, and I was like, are you guys, as fans, diehard, passionate fans, are you guys like okay with always getting that same generic answer of, well, we're gonna learn from this moving forward. Oh, we needed this. This is a learning. I what did you learn? What did you learn in the first two games? Because to me, everything kind of felt the same. Andy even admitted that most of the defenses were the same, except for them maybe showing a lot more cover zero, in which Patrick and MVS kind of, got it over the top a few times. Other than that, they did a lot of the same shell coverages. And to be honest, I didn't see much better execution out of it. I thought Mahomes looked lost a few times, especially there at the end when he just wouldn't take the dump down to Jerick
Yeah.
McKinnon that would have moved the chains. Andy also said that in that key situation on that drive before Mahomes took the sack, which he cannot do, he cannot take that sack. That's ridiculous. But once he did, they were considering the whole time this was a field goal. They were taking the field goal. And it didn't make any sense. Why do you take the ball out of the best player in the league, the MVP's hands on a fourth down and four, fourth down and five, to let Butker try to kick a very, very long field goal that his odds probably were not very good to make?
Well, Butker's not been exactly all that accurate this year. I mean, he's dealt with the ankle injury and he's had some misses here and there since he's been back. So, I mean, yeah, you have to trust your kicker and everything. I think what Andy was saying is that if they got to a fourth down situation, they were definitely going to kick for the tie. He was saying obviously he was going for the first down and going for the win, but if it come to the point where they were on fourth down, they were planning on kicking the field goal. That's what they were doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. I don't agree with it. I believe right then and there, you needed to take the Bengals and you needed to slam the door. Like you needed to let your quarterback come down and keep going and keep pushing and keep pushing, keep eating
Right.
clock. And we hadn't stopped them all day long. We got one stop on this team all day,
Yeah.
and that was a fluke play at the very end of the half by Carlos Dunlap. Heck of a play. But I mean, come on, we hadn't stopped these guys all day. I don't want to give them the ball right there without giving my quarterback a chance to at least try to get that first down right there. I thought that was better odds than the field goal, to be honest.
Well, like you said, they could have went ahead and went for it on fourth down and maybe went down and scored a touchdown and won the game. That's a possibility there. But I'm with you. I think that kicking the field goal was kind of a moot point because the way that the game had been going and the way that the defense decided to stay at home for the day, if they would have got the coin toss, the game was over anyway. So I mean, why not go ahead and go for the win when you had the chance to do it? I
Well,
don't know. It
the
just it just depends on which way you look at it, I
Well,
guess.
The Bengals offense would have had over 3 minutes left, and we hadn't stopped them all day, and they've got one of
Well,
the best
true,
kickers in the league. I don't think
true.
we was ever. I think that was our chance. We shouldn't have given them the ball back. After our crazy, real talk yesterday we come on here with some raw emotion. We give you guys exactly what two guys that love the Chiefs and are diehard, bleed red and gold. We've been doing this since we were kids. We 30 some plus years. This is what we do. And we're going to come on here and give you raw emotion. We're not going to sugarcoat it. If you want both sides of it, go watch ESPN, go watch NFL Network, go find somebody else that's afraid to tell you the truth. But we're going to have real fan reactions. So, what I kept seeing all day long is you guys aren't real fans. Anybody that critiques this team is quote unquote not a real fan now, and you're a bandwagoner. And why is this the new thing? Why is it that like we grow up in this participation award, everybody gets a trophy kind of thing, and now if you don't have a pom pom in your hand wearing a mini skirt at all times, you're just a bad fan all of a sudden. Why is this? Like, what's your
That's
take?
just that's just the culture these days. I mean, if you look at everything in the whole world, that's just how it is. Uh, pat on the back, you did a good job, no matter what. And here's the thing about it, like I even expressed to other people, it's like these guys are getting paid millions of dollars to do their job. Granted, they won't always win, even if they put in the effort. But if you don't put the effort in, if you don't put 100% effort, then you're selling a lot of people short. Your teammates, your coaches, and your fans that literally, eat, sleep, breathe your team and go to bat for you all the time and spend money on you and spend their time on you, and you're not going to go out and give 100%, then no, I will not give you a pass on that. And why is it okay? People are quick to get really mad at a fast food worker for messing up their order. And this is a person that's doing something, for $14 an hour, and they mess up, and you're quick to scold them and call them stupid and uneducated, and you're dumb. That's why you work at McDonald's. But you're not going to hold a player accountable that's been doing this their entire life, that's supposed to be a professional and is getting paid millions of dollars. You want to give them a pass?
And by the way, you're not just critiquing
Unreal.
them. You're not critiquing them for mental errors. You're just critiquing them for their effort. That was
Right.
basically the whole thing was they just didn't put in a lot of effort. But this entire thing about calling people real fans or not fans, that's so stupid.
Well,
Again, you guys are gonna get real stuff from us. You're gonna get real. You're gonna get raw emotion. We're gonna talk about things. If you don't like it, um, there's a
you're in
little
the wrong
button.
place.
Yeah, you're at the
I mean,
wrong
that's
place. Go watch
honestly, that's why
somebody
we
else.
started this. We started this whole thing because we wanted to give you the real deal. Like, no one likes going to watch coverage of the game and hearing the same bull crap like ESPN spitting out, like, oh, look, they don't have Tyreek Hill anymore, so they lost. Like, who gives a crap about that? Who cares about these fans that really don't care that much about the game? They just say they're a Chiefs fan, and then when the Chiefs lose, they're like, it's okay, guys, we'll get them next time. They have no real input, they have no real analysis, they don't really care. That's the difference. And for you to say that someone that does actually care enough to be emotionally involved with this or point out the flaws on this team or when they don't put in the effort is not a real fan, that just makes you sound kind of dumb, in my opinion. Because to me, the not real fans are the ones that don't care if they win or lose and don't even know how they could fix it. So, I
Right.
mean, that's just all it is to me. And if you don't like this kind of coverage, then there's plenty of places out there and other YouTube channels even that play that game, that pat on the butt. You tried real hard.
Hey,
And you know,
RGR, man. We watched them last night a little bit. Watched their coverage. Ryan Tracy, he actually held them a little bit accountable. I thought it was going to be the whole rah thing,
yeah,
but he didn't. And
yeah. Same with Daniel.
I didn't see people in his comment section, yeah, telling him he's not a real fan. You know,
Right.
like come on, like just shut up. Like
So you
just get
bleeding
over it.
off of this, just kind of bleeding off of this whole thing. What about the players' responses to the loss last night? We had guys like Juan Thornhill get on Twitter and literally basically just beg for sympathy. Like, guys, can you all be respectful? We
Dude,
try real hard and all this stuff. It's like you didn't look like you tried real hard when you missed every tackle that come your way. I'm
him,
sorry.
yes, him and Colin Saunders both got on there. There
Colin
may have been more.
Saunders.
There may have
Me
been
and Colin
more.
Saunders had a back and forth.
You
Y'all
did.
can go read it if you want to. Colin Saunders, very immature guy. I mean, he just got on there basically telling everybody they're stupid if they don't like that the fact that the Chiefs lost to the Bengals, and then even resorts to the your mom's a hoe if you don't agree. That's what we got here. Okay, and then he wants to fall back on as a Chief. I'm 49-13 and won a Super Bowl. Colin Saunders as a Chief, you've only had any real input in this team this year. Like you come out this year and you've played well, and I commended you for that. But other than that, you've done nothing but ride the coattails of Patrick Mahomes carrying your sorry defense for the last 4 years. Get over yourself. I don't
Right.
know who you think you are. I mean, honestly, he might be working at McDonald's in a couple years because it's not like he's like the greatest football player ever, and you want to talk like you are. And he's talking to fans like garbage, basically telling them all the other players hate him. Like, oh
Dude,
well, Travis, I see that you have Travis Kelsey in your photo. I bet you he would hate you because you don't think that we tried hard today. Like just idiotic stuff. I mean, he's worse than Tyrann Mathieu. I mean, he filled that void.
right. And Thornhill, the same thing. We try our best. We try our best. Give us sympathy. And it's like, bro, come
No,
on. Thornhill, you didn't even play a snap in the Super Bowl. These guys, I feel like
right.
we got a couple guys on our team that are resting on the laurels and the merits of that one Super Bowl ring, and they're just fine with it. Looks like they're just gonna coast the rest of their
But the
life.
funny thing about it is two people that blatantly did it
Right.
yesterday, Juan Thornhill and Colin Saunders, literally had no input in that Super Bowl game. Like none.
Exactly. But again, you can't rest on that one Super Bowl. Did Tom Brady and Bill Belichick rest on one Super Bowl? They had a championship dynasty mentality where they wanted to go out every week. Everybody hated them. Everybody give them their best shot the way they do us. But that team was a bunch of dogs, and they went out there and they stomped everybody, and they did it over and over again. And that's the difference.
Do you really
Our fan base says, well, we used to be good. You guys are expecting too much now. You used to be good, so or we used to be bad, so we should cherish this. I'm with
like
you. We
do
used to
you really
suck.
believe those fans in Boston ever gave them a pass?
No,
You dang well bet they
not even
didn't,
close.
dude.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Chief fans are giving every little thing a pass because we used to be bad, and now we're magically better. But it's like, okay, well,
And
we
we
were
love you no
better,
matter what. And it's
right?
like, you know what?
We're
We
better.
do. We
Okay,
do
we're
love the Chiefs no matter what. We do love the players no matter what. But like I said on Twitter last night, a real fan, just like a real friend in life, will hold you accountable
right.
and make you better. They're not going to sit there and rah rah be your
Hey,
cheerleader and disappear when things get heavy.
if we want another ring and we want a dynasty and we want to build that here and we want to build that culture, good enough doesn't cut it. Like it's just not. I'm sorry. You can either have a championship mentality, what Deion Sanders is going to bring to Colorado and what he brought to Jackson State. That is that dog mentality you got to have to where you want to beat everybody by 50 points every game and everybody's going to give you their best shot. And you can't hold you got to give constructive criticism and you just can't settle. I'm sorry guys, you
Well,
can't settle. If you're a fan that
here's the
wants to
thing.
settle, we're not going to win.
If they had went out and played sound fundamental football and played hard and lost, we wouldn't come at them the same way we came at them yesterday. Did we
100%.
do it on the other losses? Yeah, we critiqued them big time on the Colts loss. And the Bills loss a little bit, but it's not the same. Like when you don't put in the effort and you're not doing the little things like tackling, we could not tackle. No one made a form tackle all night except for Taylor Stallworth, and he got a penalty for it. But everybody else missed every tackle. They looked like garbage. They weren't trying. Juan Thornhill, to be running his mouth, ran away from P. Ryan several times because he didn't want to take the hit. I watched it happen. He olayed to the side. He took some angles to take the hit off of him. He missed so many tackles because he just didn't. Business decision, I
Hey,
guess. But what business are you in? Like
look,
maybe hoping to get signed by somebody else after this year?
we're not here to trash players, to do anything like that. But when you go on social media like Thornhill and you start coming at people like Colin Saunders and stuff, you better be able to back it up. And when Thornhill was here last year, and we were like, why can't he get on the field over Daniel Sorensen? You're seeing it. Daniel Sorensen's probably better, and I don't know how
It's
much that
sad.
says. That's pretty sad. But to be honest, Daniel Sorensen would put his head down and go hit somebody. He might have been
Yeah.
slow, and he might
Yeah.
have sucked, but I mean, to be honest, he wasn't going to shy away from no hit. And
At least he
I'd
put
rather,
the effort in when he was
yeah,
on the field.
I'd rather have somebody that wants to put their head down and hit somebody than somebody like Thornhill that wants to take an angle. But
Yeah.
anyways, let's
So
jump on in.
yeah,
What do you think is the state of Kansas City moving forward, Steve? Let me give it to you. Let you go first this time.
man, I think we're in a good spot. I don't buy the whole we're learning from this crap, that they say every time, but I do think it was a good learning experience for our young guys. Joshua Williams, he was one of the only players that took accountability yesterday. And that's a rookie. He got on there and he said, "Guys, I have to do better than how I played. I'm sorry. I got to get better." And the thing about it is there's actually a stat where he never ever had separation of more than a yard or 2 yards from T. Higgins, except for at the line of scrimmage the entire game. But T. Higgins catches more passes in traffic than everyone in the league, except for a couple of guys. A.J. Brown and George Pickens were the only ones that make more contested catches than T. Higgins. So, I mean, honestly, Joshua Williams didn't do a terrible job. I think he was put in some bad spots. And if you want to look at our other rookie, Trent McDuffie, shut down, man. Trent McDuffie is him. He is the real deal. And you better be counting your lucky stars that we drafted that guy because
Trent
he's a real
McDuffie,
deal.
he was matched up on Chase. What was it, 3 or 4 times? He allowed one catch, and it was the one Chase pretty much pushed off on and got away with it. Um, but yeah, he looked good. I think going forward, the Chiefs look really good. Um, with our corners. I think they've got a lot of learning experience to this thing. I do think we got to get this pass rush under control. I don't know what it is, but we got to be more consistent. Like Andy said in his presser, it wasn't like we wasn't getting to Burrow. We just couldn't close the gap. That's true. We really can't. But getting close to something and finishing are two different things. And you see what happens when you don't finish. You play a quarterback like
Right.
Joe Burrow, he's going to beat the crap out of you if you can't get there. So we got to get that. And then the offense is all just about, I honestly believe offense can be solved so much with just consistent play calling. Just relying more on that running game. Pacheco should have had 45 carries with them dropping into that cover 8 stuff yesterday. And the fact that we just wouldn't run the ball more than 2 times in a row is beyond me. In that fourth down situation there, where Patrick took the sack and then we kicked the field goal, with a 2nd and 4 or 2nd and 5, I think I'd have already said, "Look, we're giving this ball to Pacheco, and we're just going to pound it twice. I'm just pounding it until they stop it." The time that we were on the goal line and we put Jerick McKinnon in the Wildcat, and put Patrick on the edge, they know that a run's coming. He ain't going to throw that. You just wasted a red zone. We have the lowest red zone efficiency in all of football right now. We've got to get better there, guys. Like we've got to get more intensity. We've got to get better in the red zone. We've got to get more consistent play calling. And our team's built to have a long run. But if they don't want to get that fixed along with our pass rush, it's going to be an early exit again. And we're going to be sitting here being like Sorry, I guess we're bad
Right.
fans.
Well, I mean, like you asked, what do I think about the Chiefs going forward? I think that they can't let this loss just destroy them and just gut them.
Right.
They've got to take a good, long, hard look in the mirror and be like, do we want to do this, or do we want to go out and get embarrassed by teams that are not as good as us? Do we want to make this run? Are we going to step up and nut up and do what we can do? Or are we just going to get out there and go through the motions so we get the paycheck? They need to have that conversation with themselves, because that is a lot of what I saw yesterday in the Bengals game. Um, I think that these rookies need to keep building, keep trying. Joshua Williams, great attitude, great outlook, better than I can say for some veterans on the team yesterday that didn't want to take accountability. So yeah, I think going forward, it's good for the Chiefs. I think that they can. I think that they will win the rest of the season, and I think that they will get the 1 seed back, because I see Buffalo at least losing one more game. So I do think that they will get that 1 seed back, and the playoffs will be going through Arrowhead, and that's the time when people got to step up and get it done. They can't be doing this lackluster, going through the motion stuff like yesterday. And I'm with you. Play calling's got to get more consistent. You got to rely on that run more. They did go to the run quite a bit, and I was excited about that. But at times, when they really, really needed to run the ball, they strayed from it. And that seems to be a trend with Eric Bieniemy, and that's why I don't like his play calling. I'm just sorry, I don't. So yeah, I would like to see that get more consistent, and I want to see more grit from this team. I want to see more passion and more heart from this team than what I saw in that Bengals game, and I think they'll be just fine, and we could win another Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I think this loss isn't as big as it feels in the moment. I believe maybe they needed this. Maybe it's a little wake up call to go into the final stretch.
They don't
But
need
I
it.
think I think how we respond this week, though, coming out against a division rival, against a team that we should beat by 3 touchdowns, are y'all going to sack up and go out there and do it? Are you going to just lay Denver out like they are the trash heap they are? Or are you going to let them stick around, and you're going to poorly execute on offense, and you're going to keep it close, and our defense is going to let Russell Wilson look like he's magically revived his career, even though he's not thrown for 400 total yards all season? Like, you got to get it together. This is your week. If you don't get it back on track this week and come out and dominate, I feel like we may go limping into the playoffs, and that's not where we want to be. I don't think this team's built well enough to go on and win 4 games on the road. I just don't feel like it. I'm not saying we have to have home field throughout, and we have to have the 1 seed, but I do believe we've got to get that first round playoff game in Arrowhead.
So you've seen what we had to say today. Now we've had time to think on it. If you want to see our instant reactions when we're a little bit more hostile, check this video out right now. Let us know what you think about it. Get in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, hit the bell, and we will catch you tomorrow, Chiefs Kingdom. There goes a sight from my soul.